Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. I still think the long term is up for crypto, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it in general. Personally, I don't trust a lot of things in the crypto space. So far, I find Bitcoin and stablecoins to be the most interesting. There are also some small areas that are interesting, but most of the time it's pretty calm. I still think Bitcoin will go up in value over time. There's not much difference between those two theses. From what I can tell, this year the ETFs brought a lot of energy forward. People start to get really bullish in February and March of this year, and we've seen these kind of unrealistic hopes slowly fade away since then. Bitcoin Zella stands out because it is clear and easy to use. There's no limit to who can join, no matter how much they know about crypto or how new they are to it. Guess who is watching us now? Robert Kiyosaki, author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad. We'd like to thank everyone who trusted us, and we read all of your comments. Best of all, they're free. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Sign up for Bitcoin Bubble right now and enjoy the new edge. Lyn Alden showed up to talk about the next round of rate cuts. She talks about why she still thinks Bitcoin will go up in value over time and why now might be a good time to invest in emerging countries. There are a few big metrics that Bitcoin tends to track better than any other major asset class. In fact, I've asked an expert I like to write a report on this topic, and I'm suggesting that we make it a bit more quantitative. That means it's better than gold, stocks, developing markets, and bonds. To figure out how liquid the world's money is, there are several methods. I call it global broad money supply in that paper and all the time. But worth the same amount in dollars. Credit can either grow or shrink, and the dollar strength compared to the other important currencies is also taken into account. If that goes up or down in a year, Bitcoin has a much higher chance than any other asset of going in the same way, which is over 80% in Bitcoin's case. When I think about, say, a Bitcoin price for the next 2 or 12 months, I think a lot about how open the market is around the world. I don't really try to judge the Bitcoin price by the month or the quarter. The politics part, well, most Bitcoin conferences aren't really that political, as you can see. One of them happened in Nashville. It's the biggest one in the world, and it happened during the American election season. To that end, this one was very political. I guess what's interesting is that the Republicans were in most of the news stories about it. It's clear that Trump was there. A lot of senators and representatives were there. But I think that some Democratic leaders like Ro Khanna were also there, which got missed. After that, he and more than a dozen other congressmen wrote the DNC a letter saying they should be more open to that business. As of right now, there's a study out there by a professor and another professor whose name I can't remember. They looked at a pretty large sample and wanted to see if there were any differences between Bitcoin holders and the general public on a number of factors such as politics, and it didn't make that much of a difference. Really? Yes, Bitcoin owners were more likely to be men and younger, but they didn't lean left or right. These were the two things that stood out the most, which is a bit of a surprise when you see how many officials support it. It has definitely moved to the right. Michael Saylor talked about his faith in Bitcoin in an interview on NBC's Squawk Box on September 9th, even though the price of Bitcoin has gone up today. Saylor first showed up when general trend lines were going down. Post Joe Squawk told Saylor, "You're very brave because there have been many big changes in the past." But when asked if he had any big close calls, Saylor was adamant. Saylor talked about how the failure of Silvergate Bank was the lowest point in his Bitcoin journey. It looked like a close call for MicroStrategy, but it worked out well for us. We got paid a lot. He used similar language to talk about the current market. He said that MicroStrategy's growth beat that of every company in the SP index, even though Bitcoin's price went up and down. Saylor said that MicroStrategy has mostly changed into a Bitcoin development company since they started using Bitcoin. From this point of view, he talked about Bitcoin's best features, especially how it can move quickly and easily be exploited. At the end, Saylor made a bold prediction that Bitcoin would reach $13 million in 21 years. This is similar to other strong comments he has made in support of Bitcoin. I'm mostly interested in a few different areas, some of which I think investors are stressing too much, and some of which I think they may be stressing too little. What's interesting about this cycle is that the economy was stronger than many people thought it would be during the rate hike cycle. That's because a lot of private loans had low long-term fixed rates locked in. It's funny, but a lot of the government debt wasn't. In other words, raising rates basically made the debt bigger than the interest costs that businesses have to pay, which are locked in. It's obviously a very different story if you're looking to buy a house right now. While there was some private debt that was affected by the rate hikes, most of it was not. This is because most of it was investment grade debt. And only slowly, every 3 months, does some of it get refinanced at these higher rates. On the other hand, I think that cutting rates by 25 or 50 basis points, or even after a couple of cuts, even 100 basis points, will have the same effect. A lot of people have locked in rates. Obviously, the long end moves differently than the short end, but until they reach a certain point, I don't think there will be a lot of refinancing. Usually, when rates go down, people take advantage of the chance to move from mortgages with higher rates to mortgages with lower rates. They make people spend more, but there isn't a lot of money ready to pay for it. They were really low. Mortgages that have been started in the last couple of years, even though interest rates have been higher. This means that the chance of refinancing is not very high. When I think about the bright side, I'm most interested in foreign stocks. Basically, the US has done much better than other countries for a very long time, with a strong dollar and stronger stocks. It's partly basic and partly about value. A lot of it is money moving around. And when rates are going down is one of the few times you can rotate into foreign markets. The total value of the crypto market has gone down by $10 billion. At the moment, the total is $1.99 trillion, which is just below the support level of $2.08 trillion. Over the past month, this level has been tried several times, but total has only been able to break above it twice. The crypto market usually goes down on the weekends because fewer people are buying. As a result, Toto may see more downturn. If there is a big drop in trading action on the market over the next 2 days, it could go back down to $1.91 trillion. The market could fall sharply to $1.69 trillion, a low not seen since August 5th, when over $1 billion was lost. If this important support level is lost, the market could fall even more. Over the past few days, the Bitcoin market has had a good mix of buying and selling pressure. In this case, the price of the object is moving sideways, meaning there isn't a strong uptrend or downtrend. The fact that its relative strength index RSI is flat on a one-day chart shows this. Don't forget to sign up for Bitcoin Seller either. Every day for free, the most important news will be sent to your email. I don't understand why you haven't signed up yet. Like the video? Please join Bitcoin Seller by clicking the button below. Give it a thumbs up and sign up to get daily information. Remember that knowing something gives you power, and we're here to help you on your way to financial freedom. Have a great time buying. Until next time.